Hey, welcome back. If you're new, my name is Chris. Today's video is all about citrusy vanillas. You know, one of my very favorite categories. I love vanilla and I love citrusy vanillas. And I love citrusy vanillas for this time of the year, which is the end of spring, heading into summer. It's going to be very, very hot. And citrusy vanillas are some of the few vanillas that work really well in the hot weather. So before I get started, I'd love to hear about some of your favorite citrusy vanillas. And if you've been coming back and watching my channel and are not yet subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out, and give me a thumbs up. That would be lovely. And with that, let's just move right along because I have several to get through. Actually, I only picked 10 because I'm planning on filming 4 videos today. But I mean, I think I got the best 10. So here we go. We're gonna start with Akro Bake. I did a whole video on this one and Devotion. Now Devotion is currently up on my desk because it is about to head to the declutter stack. Not because it's not a great citrusy vanilla, but because I have Bake and they're just too similar. So I think that Devotion is a fantastic, more affordable option. If you like Bake, there are slight differences. Again, this is a citrusy vanilla. So this has a super, like a heavy lemon, very sharp lemon rind in the beginning, and to me it's like it's dunked in some sort of spirit. There's rum, so it's like a rum soaked lemon rind. There's brown sugar, there's vanilla. It's just 100% gourmand. And that brown sugar is almost like it's a little bit caramelized, so I get a little bit of caramel in the background. I don't know if caramel is in here. And if it's not, it's because the brown sugar is almost like a caramelized note. It's got a little bit of whipped cream. So to me, this smells like a lemon meringue cookie or a lemon meringue cupcake with a dollop of cream on top. And instead of using white sugar, you used brown sugar. So that is delicious. And the difference between this and Devotion is, I think Devotion is like a candied lemon. It comes off a little bit orangey to my nose. And that one has definite floral. So that Orange Blossom in Devotion was very heavy on me. I love Orange Blossom, but it was very, very floral. And I just, for the two, I just chose Bake, but Devotion is an excellent choice. The next one is one I never talk about. I was thinking about doing a video called Perfumes that I love, that I don't recommend. If you want me to do that video, let me know down below. So a perfume that I love that I don't necessarily recommend, I can't wholeheartedly recommend, is this beautiful perfume right here. It's called Sublime Vanille. Yeah, Sublime Vanille by Creed. And I held off for a long time getting this. I thought it was beautiful. And I bought the tester because it's super expensive and I did get a good deal on it. And it is a beautiful, a very classy, elegant, not overly foodie, citrusy vanilla. My issue with this is that it just, for the price, kind of like jangling, it is just, the performance just isn't there. You know, it's a very sleek, classy, sophisticated, like very well done, elegant, citrusy vanilla. Shush, hush, hush. Hush, there we go. Gosh, it's so well done. It has tonka in the dry down, so it's a little bit more creamy, smooth. Some teensy florals in the background. I mean, they're way in the background. So incredibly lovely, but again, just expensive, and longevity is just not super fabulous. It's like 2 to 4 hours. I mean, if I spray more, I'm gonna get 4 to 5 hours, sometimes 6, particularly if I spray on clothes. Because of its light wearing, it's one of the very few vanillas that I would wear to work safe, because it's on the quiet side. Okay, the next two, one is one I talk about all the time. It's definitely one of my 3 favorite cupcakes. You guys know I love Hufflepuff. I've loved this ever since it came out. It's a beautiful citrusy vanilla. So to me, this smells like a lemon vanilla coconut cupcake with a little peach glaze. So it's got all the notes I love. Lemon, vanilla, coconut. I love all those notes. I love a nice peach note as long as it's not overly ripe and like rotting. It's got some florals in here. The florals are very, very light. So if you're just strictly a gourmand lover, don't let the florals scare you. They're in the background. But it is a beautiful gourmand fragrance that really does kind of change over time. And it's one of the few gourmands that won my mother over, who doesn't like gourmand fragrances. She didn't love the opening because the opening is when it's the sweetest. It's when the vanilla, the peach, the coconut is like in your face, but it kind of dries down. It's just sweet and pretty. It has a little bit of cedar in the base, maybe to help with its longevity because it is long wearing. Another one that I've never gotten sick of, I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten and moved on, is Ani by Nishan or Nishane. This is a great, very unisex, zingy, citrusy vanilla. I mean, it's got bergamot, it's gingery, it's very zesty, it's very zingy. You know, it's got a little bit of pink pepper, so the pink pepper and the ginger gives it this nice zing, a nice zip. It makes it very invigorating and excellent for the warm weather. And it offsets a very heavy, so the vanilla in here to me is it's like an ambery vanilla. It's quite dense and rich and thick. It might be too heavy. It's not sweet, but it's just heavy and beautiful in a beautiful way. If those lighter notes weren't offsetting the heavy vanilla, it might be too much. Great year round. I would wear it year round, but I think it's really super in the warm weather, and it lasts forever and has amazing projection. I find this very unisex, but you have to love like ginger, a little bit of pink pepper, a heavy bergamot, and a pretty dense vanilla, but I absolutely love it. It's like 3 to 4 sprays. It'll last all day. Okay, the next citrusy vanilla I have is one by Sylvain Delacourt. And this is a cleanly formulated fragrance. I've had several people ask me to at least try to include some cleanly formulated fragrances in my video and alert them to that. Now, Sylvain Delacourt, she used to be with Guerlain, I think like 15 for a long time, maybe 15, 20 years. And I think she was the artistic director over there. So she knows how to do fragrances. And I think 2 of the fragrances that she is famous for, one is L'Instant and the second is Insolence. So she's quite the perfumer, but now, you know, several years ago, she started her own brand. And I went through all of the travel sets. One of the things I love about her house is her fragrances are very well crafted. They're not going to be for everybody because they're so natural. I mean, she prefers to use natural and raw ingredients when she can. Sometimes you just cannot. Like, there are certain flowers and certain substances you cannot easily extract an essential oil to make a perfume, so you have to get it. It has to be man-made. Lab generated doesn't always mean bad. I mean, look at poison ivy. Poison ivy's 100% natural. It's very bad for you. So we have to take that into consideration. You know, we have to think about that. Like, not all things generated that are lab created are harmful or, you know, poisonous. Anyways, back to the perfume. So this fragrance, I tested it years and years ago, and it was only recently that I finally got my full bottle. But it is a lovely citrusy vanilla that will be for a couple people. I mean, there's not going to be for everybody because it is very natural smelling. If you smell her perfumes, they kind of all share a background, similar DNA. You know, they're very fresh, they're very well crafted, they're very natural. They do not smell overly gourmand at all. They're not foodie at all. I mean, that's just not the way she makes fragrances. But this is very unique. So it has lemon and bitter orange, so it's very citrusy, maybe a touch bitter from that bitter orange, but it also has some lovely fresh greenness. It has mint, and I want to say basil. So you've got these fresh garden herbs that are slightly sweet, offsetting some of the strong, heavy citruses. And in, you know, at its core is a very natural smelling, non-foodie, non-overly sweet, non-sticky, non-cloying vanilla that smells very, very good. My daughter loves, like, the sweeter the better, the more gourmand the better. And I sprayed this on her a couple days ago, and she was like, "Mom, this smells really good." So it is a really nice smelling fragrance, and to me, it is kind of the combination of 2 perfumes. If you thin down Ani a little bit and you added it to Bijou Romantique, which to me is a much more palatable, lighter, less animalic version of Shalimar. So this has a Shalimar vibe. So if you added these 2 together, maybe added a splash of mint, added, you know, a touch of these slightly sweet, fresh garden herbs, you're gonna come up with Valkyrie. It's a lovely citrusy vanilla and has, you know, really nice, I would say at least 6 hours longevity. So speaking of clean and fresh citrusy vanillas, one of the best for the really hot weather is Gypsy Water right here. This one is a terrific citrusy vanilla for the hot weather because it wears lightly and it's never going to be overpowering. It has a lot of my very, very favorite notes. So this is a good gateway vanilla because it's not gourmand at all. The vanilla is very, very natural in here, and it has a nice light citrusy note in the background. It's got some evergreens, pine, juniper. So they're light, but they're definitely in here. Just a touch of incense, and I mean a touch. It definitely puts it in the unisex zone, in addition to the kind of the woody notes, a little bit of black pepper, but this is just one of the best hot weather citrusy vanillas. Very, very refreshing. I can definitely see this being somebody's signature scent, particularly if you live in the hot weather. My main beef with it, and I think it's everybody's main beef, is that it's not super strong and it doesn't last long. I layer it with the body oil or the rollerball oil by Oil Perfumery, and I can get it to last a lot longer. And again, it does much better in the hot weather. Doesn't do great in the cold weather. The next one, let's see, I'll talk about this one. It is called Sauna by Blended Oud. This is for people who love Lyra. If you love that combination of notes, so citrusy vanilla with caramel, that's what this is. So I prefer this. Not everybody's going to prefer this to Lyra. I prefer this to Lyra because Lyra is very expensive and it has terrible longevity on me. I can only speak for my experience with this perfume. I get much better. And again, I used to have a small bottle of Lyra. I got the 5 ml decant just so I could compare it side by side. Because like I said, a lot of times it's really hard to tell the differences between the two unless you wear them side by side. They're very similar, but the main differences to me is that Sana has vanilla, it has citruses, this one has caramel, but the caramel is a little bit more prominent in this. So it's got that beautiful caramelly sweetness with the vanilla and the citruses, whereas Lyra to me leans slightly more citrusy. It has a hair more citruses in them. And again, like this one lasts forever on my clothes, whereas Lyra, I was only getting a couple hours. So if you love Lyra and you're very, you're tired of the poor performance, I mean, this is definitely not blind buy worthy. It's definitely worth a sample because it's much less expensive. I got mine on Max Aroma. I mean, they were having a sale, but I paid just over $100 compared to the full bottle of Lyra, which runs around $300 or high 200s if it's at, the discounters. Okay, a couple more here. The first one is one of my favorite citrusy vanillas at the moment. It's definitely my favorite fruity vanilla, and I talk about it a lot recently because I just got it and I'm really in love with it, and I've had it on my wish list for a long time, I think close to a year, and I just bought the full bottle. It's not cheap. I'm going to be using it a lot because it's absolutely delicious and I love it. So it's Narco Oasis, which is a beautiful passion fruit based fragrance. So it's passion fruit, vanilla, maybe it's got other citruses or fruits in the background, maybe it's got black currant, but I really get mostly a passion fruit vanilla, and I love it because it doesn't have a ton of musk. I'm not really into like the heavy musky fruity perfumes, particularly in the hot weather, like Herba Pura, that is just suffocating in the hot weather. This is so realistic. It's a tart passion fruit, but it's offset with this delicious vanilla. Oh my gosh, I just absolutely love it. And again, it doesn't have that heavy musk, delicious vanilla. The next one is good for those of you that live in the Southern Hemisphere and are heading into the colder weather. This is not one I'm going to be wearing in the upcoming months because it has a warmth to it. To me, this is a good citrusy vanilla to wear in the colder months. It is by Private Mood, and this is called So Vanilla. And so this has orange and it's vanilla, but it also has a note of gingerbread. So that gingerbread really, to me, makes it feel like a wintertime or a holiday vanilla. So this kind of smells, it's really nice. I mean, I guess I could wear it in the summer, maybe not on a sweltering hot day, I don't know. But this to me smells like you had a creamsicle that melted, like an orange pop or orange creamsicle, and then you dunked a gingerbread cookie in it. That's what it smells like. It's really, really delicious. Some background mild florals. I want to say maybe orange blossom, maybe linden blossom. Very, very light florals in the background. And then another one is one of my recent pickups. Absolutely another expensive one that I will be wearing a lot because it has some notes that I love. And it's Gioiosa by Perfume Roma. I love to say that. But this is my favorite of the Bianco Latte perfumes. This is my absolute favorite. If you thought Bianco Latte, if you didn't like that coumarin note, and to me it came off as like grassy, like minty grassy with a little bit of plastic doll head mixed in there. If you didn't like that note but you love Bianco Latte, oh my goodness, this is a better version of that. It doesn't have that coumarin, it doesn't have the plastic doll head, it doesn't have that kind of that minty grassy thing. It is so, so delicious, and it even has an added note, of course, vanilla, and it has coconut. So it's, oh, my mouth is about to water. It is so delicious. The only downside is that this is expensive, particularly since it's on the new, it's a newer release. I don't think it's has yet hit the, you know, the gray market. So it is more expensive than Bianco Latte. That's a negative, but I absolutely love it. And this thing lasts forever. Now it does have orange in here, and that's why it made the list. The orange is toned down. This is really more of a milky, creamy, coconutty vanilla with some citruses in the background, at least to me, but I absolutely love it. And I had one more, but I think I'm just gonna call it a day. My Citrusy vanillas, vanilla fragrances that I'm going to be able to wear in the summer months. I'm going to do one more vanilla video, vanilla series, which will be good summertime vanillas. That'll be upcoming in the next few weeks. But Citrusy vanillas are going to be in heavy rotation for the month of June, July, and August. I love them. It's my favorite time to wear these perfumes. And again, if you have any Citrusy vanillas that you love that I did not mention in the video, let us all know in the comments below. We would love to hear about it. Thanks again for sticking around. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. It really does help me. And with that, I'll see you on the next one.